What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Um, I went downstairs. I was about to watch the Mike Alvarado Brandon Rios Part 2 again for the second time tonight, and I decided to make this video real quick. Let me know what you guys think. Some things that I'm going to say will probably be controversial because a lot of people will try to pick sides and think with their heart and that kind of thing. But in the words of Tupac and Juice, you know what else? I don't give a fuck. But anyway, yeah, I really don't care. I'm gonna say my opinion, and that's that. You guys can have your opinion, but this is mine. Um, and keep in mind, I don't just arbitrarily jump on bandwagons with any sport. That's never been my MO, if you will. And I'm not saying this based on one fight, because sometimes people look suspect in one fight or vulnerable. But that doesn't mean that's how they're gonna look on all fights. But a lot of people have wanted to see the Brandon Rios versus Adrien Broner, including myself. I would love to see that fight. And I've always thought this, but it was still a toss up. And you can look at some of my old comments, they'll support this. Um, After seeing today's fight, with everything I know about Brandon Rios up to this point, including this fight, I gotta say Adrien Broner beats Brandon Rios. Rios is too stationary, and that's his biggest problem. And I see him getting chewed up. Adrien Broner is one of the most, especially out of the young rising stars, he's probably the most accurate in terms of percentage based on the level of competition. Because anyone could be accurate, but it also depends on the opponent that you're facing. And against people in his weight class and moving up and fighting DeMarco and people like Gavin Reese who are on win streaks, he's very accurate. And I just see that precision punching and the movement being too much for Brandon Rios. Rios is an exciting fighter. I like Rios. I thought he would win this rematch based on everything I said in my prediction video. But facts are facts. Rios is a lot more one-dimensional. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a fact. That's the way he fights. And I liken it to, I don't know if you guys, one time I was going to buy a bike just for exercise and whatnot. And I went to Sports Authority, I think it was, and they have all kinds of bikes. They have like cruiser bikes and mountain bikes. And initially, I bought a cruiser bike. I didn't know shit about bikes like that. So I bought a cruiser bike, and it only had one gear. And I was trying to just ride around for exercise and cardio, and I was really having to pedal and strain because they only had one gear. Like, so no matter what terrain I was on, it was really hard to pedal. So I was like, fuck this. Took it back, and then I got a mountain bike with several gears. And I compare Brandon Rios to more of a cruiser bike, somebody with one gear. And if you look at the way he fights, the patterns of previous fights, not just this fight, but he has more or less one gear. It's more one dimensional. His game plan, I've never seen him do something that I haven't seen. Every fight looks similar. I don't know if you listen to music, but sometimes artists have songs and you're like, damn, that sounds like their last hit. That's kind of what it is with Brandon Rios to me. And it makes for an exciting fight, but in the fight game, it's the sweet science. So you're going to have to sometimes switch to a plan B and be more adaptive to the current situation. And I think that's why Mike Alvarado won, because he was able to do that. And he's like, oh shit, a jab just rocked me. He composed himself and he did what he had to do to win and weather that storm. And he made the necessary adjustments from the first fight to the second fight, from the first 2 rounds to the middle rounds. He made adjustments. Even Robert Garcia was giving Brandon Rios excellent information in his corner, like, what the fuck are you doing? You're smarter than that, da 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 da. And it doesn't look like Brandon Rios really listened. And I'm gonna go watch it again just to see if anything changes. But I really think Adrien Broner beats him. Adrien Broner, frame wise, he looks like he would be able to fight at 140, and his power will transition. He walks around. When he got arrested, his mugshot, it looked like it said he weighed like 154. So Alvarado and Rios both hydrated to the 150s. So it looks like they'd all be similar weights. Adrien Broner's not a small kid. And I see him chewing Brandon Rios up. The biggest thing Rios has going for him is he's heavy-handed and he has a chin. He has an insane chin. But at the same time, it's different when someone's placing accurate shots, not punching themselves out. and they're athletic. And Adrien Broner is a very athletic fighter, and he's a faster puncher, in my opinion, than Mike Alvarado. So I think as long as his power transition from 135 to 140, it would cause severe problems for Brandon Rios. And one of Adrien Broner's best punches is his uppercut. So Brandon Rios just coming in straight, he's very susceptible to that punch. And again, if you give him any type of movement, that's going to cause him to reset and cause him more problems, and it takes him off his game. Adrien Broner gets critique on his defense and his footwork. I think his defense is not Mayweather's defense, but then again, Mayweather's his senior, has been fighting longer. So a lot of people compare it. It's nowhere near Mayweather's defense, but it's still a solid defense for the most part. You could say Gavin Reese was able to hit him, but at the same time, each fighter, I've seen other fights where he didn't get hit that much. So I think he has a better defense than people. I think people get mad at his defense in comparison to Mayweather. They're two different people, but if you look at his defense for what it is, it's still better than a lot of guys out there. And same thing with his footwork. I think he is a type of fighter where he kind of uses footwork as needed. I've seen him in certain fights, and he used a lot of footwork, and he used it well. And then I've also seen fights like the Gavin Reese where he didn't really use much footwork. But I think when he needs to or when he has to, he makes that adjustment, and he will do it. So this is just my opinion. I definitely think Adrien Broner beats down on Brandon Rios. I like both fighters, but I just see Brandon Rios as being more one-dimensional, can't really switch gears. And if you watch Sergio Martinez versus Chavez Jr., that reminds me of Mike Alvarado versus Brandon Rios Part 2. Not that they're the exact same fights, but at the same time, Martinez, his early success came from using movement, lateral movement, angles, and that's pretty much what Mike Alvarado's game plan was, and it worked. You got slower fighters who pressure you, and the best way to throw them off is to keep them off balance, never allow them to get in their rhythm or their comfort zone. And I think Adrien Broner would do that with Brandon Rios. I see Mike Alvarado being a tougher fight for Adrien Broner than Brandon Rios because, again, I think Alvarado is the superior, more technical boxer between Rios and Alvarado. So leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Brandon Rios versus Adrien Broner. Do you want to see it? Would you rather see Mike Alvarado versus Adrien Broner, or do you want to see Adrien Broner fight somebody completely different like Terrence Crawford at 135? Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Who wins? And as always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next videos, Ego signing off.